News2. In a press conference yesterday, Governor Kenneth Mapp assured the people of the Virgin Islands that the 2016 budget would be delivered to the 31st legislature on time, and it was this morning. More on the discussion surrounding the laws on cannabis and across the nation, and some of the health factors that should be considered, they say, when it comes to the medical marijuana industry. Plus, the VIPD held a grand opening of the VIPD K9 and Special Operations Complex on St. Croix. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. Happy Friday. Topping our newscast, there was plenty of development, or some would say non-development, on Thursday. In the morning, the Senate quashed the motion that would have allowed them to take a second look at some cabinet nominees who were voted down a week before. In the afternoon, the governor responded. News 2's April Knight has more from that press conference.
Only hours after the Senate said no to reconsidering the 11 cabinet nominees who were promised pay raises, Governor Kenneth Mapp swiftly responded the same day, renominating the very same people.
I am as perplexed and bewildered with the Senate's lack of action.
Mapp stressed that the money for the raises has been there all along and said his administration took steps to balance out the budget.
We did it by eliminating positions in some departments and agencies, and instituting an additional 5% allotment reduction to the department and agencies.
Critics of the pay raises point to the statement made by the governor back in January when he said that the government was on the brink of economic collapse. But according to the governor, that situation has changed, and he credits the efforts of his cabinet designees. In a major announcement, the governor said he'll also vacate his St. Thomas residence in Estate Nazareth, which costs $12,500 a month to rent, in an effort to move the nominations forward.
I suspect I may now be the governor in the nation that does not have a home in the capital in the jurisdiction in which he resides. I will give up the residence and the cost of that residence so that any conversation now on the cost of moving forward and dealing with the issues affecting the people of the Virgin Islands, I am hopeful will be behind us.
Senate President Neville James and Governor Mapp were scheduled to meet Friday afternoon to try and end the deadlock. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The governor also enumerated his administration's accomplishments so far, including some $17.8 million in tax refunds and $1.2 million released to injured employees in the last 4 months. Friday morning, OMB Director Designee Nellen Bowery delivered the fiscal year 2016 budget to the legislature. The administration has already made some headway in reducing deficits, according to the governor.
We had been collecting additional monies, and that the current fiscal year deficit that we had been incurring, in addition to these outlays, have been reduced by an additional $22 million. That's a reduction in the current year fiscal year deficit. The fiscal 2016-27 budget for the government of the Virgin Islands, which is estimated, and you will see, the senators will see, would be at $1.267 billion.
Now, in that same conference, the governor also appointed retired Colonel and 32-year veteran Deborah Howell as the new VI National Guard Adjutant General. The appointment is a first in more ways than one.
The first female Adjutant General and the first African-American female Adjutant General in the United States of America, Colonel Deborah Howell. She has worked as the Executive Assistant to the Adjutant General, the Director of the Information Systems, the Chief of the Joint Staff, the Assistant United States Property and Fiscal Officer, the Director of Logistics, the National Guard Bureau Logistics Officer, and many other positions.
Congrats to Deborah Howell. Well, dozens of residents attended a legal and medical marijuana seminar Wednesday night, as we reported, at the University of the Virgin Islands. Senator Terrence Nelson has been hosting various conferences to educate the public on the benefits of cannabis. Wednesday's event featured both a legal and health expert working in the industry. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
You know, when Senator Nelson returned from his fact-finding cannabis trip last month, he gave the end of May, that's this weekend, as a deadline to draft a bill. But he wants to make sure the kinks are worked out, and so that date may actually be pushed back. More people are taking notice of cannabis and related industries.
It's over 25,000 different products can be made out of hemp. I believe we can revitalize our economy.
Nearly 100 people attended a legal and medical marijuana forum Wednesday night at UVI.
I see it from one standpoint, medical standpoint. So I came here to get as much information as possible, because I feel as an educator, I have a responsibility to make sure people understand the issue.
Senator Terrence Nelson has been pushing for the VI to legalize medical marijuana.
It's important to bring the education to the people about what exactly is medicinal cannabis, medicinal hemp.
I'm not here to change anybody's minds. I just want to share information. There's some really amazing research and science that's coming out about cannabinoid therapeutics.
His office is crafting legislation expected to be complete by the end of the month. That date may change.
We're not going to rush just because we've set the deadline. There are some other things going on, but we're working constructively on the language right now.
Attorney Ken Sobel says in states where medical marijuana has been adopted, crime has gone down.
Every state has passed medical marijuana. We see the next year when they do their studies, it shows that you drop in the teenage use of marijuana, drop in crime rates.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Now, residents in St. Thomas also took part in Wednesday's forum that was video conferenced to the university. Crime Stoppers remind you that police need your help as they continue to investigate the following crimes. Remember, you can earn a reward in the process. Taking a look on St. Thomas on February 11th at approximately 6:40 a.m., officers were notified that a black male was laying inside a vehicle in the area of Building 1022 high-rise. Upon arrival, officers discovered that 20-year-old Leroy Rollins of St. Kitts had been shot to death. Anyone with information about this homicide, you can call the police, or if you want to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers. On St. John on May 13th at approximately 6:10 p.m., officers were dispatched to Love City Mini Mart regarding a burglary that occurred at 10A 14 Estate Carolina. The victims informed the officers that a friend had found documents and a briefcase in the roadway near Shipwreck Landing, along with a safe. This friend returned them, prompting them to check their home. Upon checking the home, it was found that one of the apartments had been broken into and their safe had been stolen. A taxi medallion, checkbooks, a small metal box, and other valuable items were stolen from within the safe, which was recovered from the roadside. On St. Croix, police still need your help with this older case. On Tuesday, November 13th, 2001, at approximately 2:45 p.m., 32-year-old Leander Alexander Smith Jr. was gunned down by 3 heavily armed masked men in a gangland-style hit in front of the Charles Harwood Medical Complex. He died of multiple gunshot wounds despite having been wearing a bulletproof vest. Call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. The VIPD completed the second phase of their Special Operations Complex and held a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Friday. A new building will act as a briefing and command center, as well as training and headquarters for the Special Ops Unit. Funding was made possible by an anonymous donor 3 years ago. The first phase, which was the K9 building, was completed last year.
This building means a lot to the police department.
It was definitely a much-needed facility. The facility that was there was designed in 1979 and had been destroyed a number of times in hurricanes and rebuilt, and it was just an antiquated building to begin with and had lots of problems, so it was definitely overdue.
We'll turn our attention overseas. You may remember we have been following this case. It's 10 years after the disappearance of Natalie Holloway during a trip to Aruba, and now a Dutch citizen named Jurgen de Jong is saying he knows where to find her. Then, 18-year-old Holloway disappeared while on a high school graduation trip to the Caribbean island and declared dead in 2012. DeYoung said on May 30, 2005, he saw a man chasing a woman and dragging her into a crawled space in an Aruba hotel. DeYoung said he will cooperate with authorities on any investigation that could result from his coming forward, and we will keep you updated. Keeping our eye on the economy, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. As we can see there, everything down. The Dow 115, NASDAQ 27, S&P 13. Coming up on News 2, songs and dance, poetry, storytelling, praise and worship. An event was held to acknowledge the senior citizens in the community. That's coming up next. From a physics project featuring a giant paper roller coaster based on a popular video game to a chemistry experiment that revealed the acidity level in local tap water is significantly lower than levels found in popular bottled water brands, St. Croix Educational Complex students presented a host of unique science projects at the first Science Exhibit and Family Lab Night held May 26 at the school. Parents and community members attended the nighttime event to learn fun science concepts from students who presented lectures, conducted experiments, engaged in survival training techniques, and played games, all with the goal of showing the presence of science in everyday life. Congratulations to the students. Hundreds of senior citizens turned out for Senator Terrence Nelson's 11th annual Senior Brunch. Along with the food, there were poems, dancing, and performances. Nelson said it wouldn't be possible without community help and sponsors. The senator wasn't able to give everyone a gift this year, but he did a quiz bowl and gave out cash.
It's so heartwarming to do this and to fellowship with the seniors over the time. They look forward to it and we look forward to it. It's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding to see the smiles and to see them just do their own little thing. It's an open mic. Sometimes they volunteer a poem or a song, and you know, my parents, my wife, my staff get fully engrossed in this activity, including some us volunteers from the Catholic Services and the Seventh-day Adventist Community Services Group.
A fun day for the seniors. Meanwhile, the senior citizens at Flamboyant Gardens put on their best dresses and formal wear to attend, guess what, the prom. Visiting nursing students from the University of South Florida put on the event that had food, photos, music, and of course, some dancing. The senior residents showed they could step in, the best of them getting down on the dance floor. Flamboyant Gardens is only one of Lutheran Social Services communities that the visiting students help as part of their training. This is the second time the college students have made the trip to St. Croix. Well, don't forget the event closing out Tourism Awareness Month, the Cultural Extravaganza at Tutu Park Mall on St. Thomas, with cooking demonstrations from the students at the Raphael O. Wheatley Skills Center and Chef Taj's local sushi rolls. Learn some broom making with master craftsman Justin Todman and enjoy entertainment by DJ Keg, Alla F. Muller Panatics, Sebastian Majorettes, Pressure Bus Pipe, Kenya Eugene, Flip Switch, and the Dancing Flower Studio. Now that all it begins at 10 a.m. and goes on until 5 p.m. The revival of Quadrille Diamond Jubilee celebration is coming up on Saturday from 4 to 8 p.m. at the St. Croix Central High School Gymnasium. Now in attendance will be many public and private schools, as well as II cultural dancers and many other participants. The coordinator of the event is Valerica Bryson. If you love our cultural dance, the quadrille, the madras outfit, and the historical Quilbe music, this is where you need to be. And don't forget, Banco Popular's Ultimate Flavor of the Caribbean is underway at the Marriott, featuring some of our very talented culinary students, and that began at 7. Well, ever wanted to learn how to oil paint? Visiting artist Charmaine Olivia is holding a 5-hour workshop. Now, there was one held already. This is your last chance on Saturday, May 30th from 1 to 6 p.m. All materials will be provided and no prior experience is necessary. A journey within, exploring the art of oil painting. It shares how art's great power can serve as a tool for expression, as well as a medium for living life as art. While walking through the beginning principles of painting, Charmaine Olivia is a self-taught artist living in Southern California. Many of her work have appeared in the publications, museums, galleries, and private collections throughout the world. You must register online at amygibbsfineart.com. Our pet of the week stopped by today. Adorable little Lola is looking for her forever home and is all yours to take. Remember, call the Humane Society at 775-0599. Here's Humane Society volunteer Benjamin Coverdale to tell us more about Lola.
This is Lola, our pet of the week. She's 1.5 years old and she is fun, loving, and would do good in a family setting. She is great with kids. She loves comfort and treats. She is spayed and ready to go. Come on down to the Humane Society to come to meet her.
Lola is cute. Well, they swam to Cinnamon Bay, Trunk Bay, and some all the way to Hawksnest Bay. Last week, Friends of Virgin Islands National Park hosted the 12th annual Beach to Beach Power Swim on St. John. The race consisted of 3 courses: short from Maho Bay to Cinnamon Bay, about 1 mile, intermediate course from Maho Bay to Trunk Bay, about 2.25 miles, and long course from Maho to Hawksnest, about 3 miles. Some swimmers competed in the long course as an individual or as part of a 3-person team. Karen Volling, the development director for the Friends of the VI National Park, said there were more than 100 volunteers and about 300 swimmers, some from as far away as Australia. 121 awards were given out, and they raised about $40,000 for the projects that aim to educate, protect, and preserve the national parks. Wonderful event there. Well, heavy rains are expected this weekend. This hazardous weather outlook for the U.S. Virgin Islands and the adjacent coastal waters calls for moderate to heavy rain with the potential for flooding of guts and small streams, and they say it's due to increasing tropical moisture. Our AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.